didn't think it would be up today, but finally gonna unlock the last ending of Bloodborne, and that's it. I'm not doing any more Bloodborne videos. I probably would've got this up sooner, but Mikolash, the birdcage douchebag, helped me out. But everybody else, I could handle on my own. It was weird. Mikolash was the only one I died maybe more than 5 times. So everyone else, I didn't die. I just went straight on, killed them, easy enough. It was so easy. So if I'm gonna do any more Bloodborne videos, I'm probably not. This is gonna be the last one, final ending. Hope you guys enjoyed the ride and the journey. It was fun. While it lasted, it was frustrating. It was exciting. Major frustrating from software. But I really enjoyed the game. And I'm gonna give my verdict after I'm done this final ending.
Good hunter, you have come. Dawn will soon break. This night and this dream will end. Gammon awaits you at the foot of the great tree. Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Thank you, nice lady. You have been very nice the entire 100 and maybe 78 hours or more. But you've been nice. Thank you. It didn't take me long to get to the ending. Maybe because my character is OP at this point, so all the damage he was doing to the enemies and boss characters were just immensely high. I mean, come on. I'm 350 at this point. Look at that. Look at those stats. Look at those stats. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, isn't it? Alright. I learned my lesson after finding him in New Game Plus. This is New Game Plus Plus. I do not want to fight him again right away.
Good hunter, you've done well. The night is near its end. Now, I will show you mercy. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream.
Well, every time I refuse, Gehrman always puts up a challenge. And I always like to challenge, but after Mikolash, I think I'm spent, and I'm gonna be done until the next playthrough, so yeah, submit your life.
Farewell, my keen hunter. Fear the blood.
That was a new dialogue. Okay, blind samurai, how are you gonna die, I wonder? Oh, that's a sharp sight. Ooh, decapitation. My player did not go quietly in the night. Wait, this place looks familiar. Looks like Yargo, but no, can't be. Maybe. Oh, it's like a Matrix simulation. He awoke in the real world.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Oh crap, that's significance in that line. No wonder she was telling me that. Okay, that's important. Holy crap, I earned a platinum trophy in a PlayStation game for once. Bonus! I earned a platinum trophy. I haven't done that except for maybe Heavy Rain, but darn it. The music just keeps getting excellent. The music is excellent throughout the game. Special credit goes to Ryan, Amen, Tsukasa, Saito, Yuka, Kanamaro, sorry if I mispronounced that, Nobuyoshi Suzuki, Chris Valesco, and Michael Wanmacher, I think. Probably mispronounced that. But the music is fantastic throughout the whole game. Bravo to all those composers that collaborated to create this fantastic soundtrack. It's my favorite music out of the series, the Soul series. I'm gonna say that much. Now, my final verdict, just like the first ending that I did like maybe a couple weeks ago or a month, it's been a while. I still give it a solid 9 out of 10. I recommend, if you're gonna get a PlayStation 4, this is the first game you either need to play or get other PlayStation 4 games before that and then play this game eventually. If you can deal with difficulty level, that will kick your butt every 10 seconds. But why a 9? The story is forefront and it's very fantastic. It is, I will say, it is better than most of the other games I have played in the Soul series. I played it from Demon Souls all the way to Dark Souls 3. I haven't finished that, but it will be up, and probably, spoiler alert, I will probably do Dark Souls 3 later on. But who knows? But the story is very great in its symbolism, imagery, its character descriptions, and it's more descriptive, and you get a great grasp of what's going on in the story. Basically, the end times. And they use lots of religion imagery through the cathedrals and so on and so on. And like I said in my other videos, there are other people who can do a better explanation of what's going on in Bloodborne. I highly recommend watch those other videos, since I'm not the guy. But, lo and behold, in short story, the story is fantastic. Even if it's still vague, like From Software, trademark, nothing new. story is just fantastic. I recommend to play it for its insanity and its symbolism and its metaphors. Recommend it. Gameplay, it's a great change for the formula. It's still the standard Soul series without the shield, and that just makes it better for it. And the gun that you use, fantastic. Combined with the trick weapon that you've never seen before, it's fantastic. I can't think of any other words to say than fantastic for this game. Epic and fantastic. It's swift. Your boss characters are one of the top, even better maybe than Dark Souls. I will say Dark Souls bosses are better than Bloodborne. I hate to say it, but they are, because I will go into that in another video, maybe in Dark Souls 3. But Bloodborne's bosses are appropriately fun and intense. They are very challenging. They're challenging because they're fast. They're fast and they will eat your lunch. They are fast and they will eat your lunch. But that's what makes them so fun, because they're so swift. They're not like the Soul series, Dark Souls or any previous Soul or Dark Souls 3. They are swift, they are fast, they will kill you with intensity, and they have lots of combos. More combos than I have seen in any of the Soul series before I played Dark Souls 3. Oh wow, the credits is over. I didn't think I would finish. I didn't think it would finish before I monologue and all that. Okay, well, I'll let you guys see the intro going to New Game Plus every time, so I figure I'd at least put that on. Alright.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
I wish I could kill you. Bad dream is an understatement, you old jerk. You old douchebag. Alright.
You found yourself a hunter.
Yeah, unlike the other Souls game, Bloodborne does it differently. It's more of a first-person perspective. Unlike the vague storytelling cutscenes that really look really pretty to look at, are pretty vague. At least with Bloodborne, you kind of know what's going on. But anyway, gameplay is fantastic. I know you guys are probably sick of that word, so let's move on. Other thing I really like is also, as you guys can see, the Victorian architecture and the Gothic horror aspects, or the visual graphics is fantastic for its time, since this game is 2015, when the PlayStation 4 came out in 2013, and this came out 2 years later. Come on, let's face it, Bloodborne is one of those games that elevated the PlayStation 4 to be popular. I don't know if it's popular than PC, But it helped with games with Bloodborne that it's exclusive to PS4. So most people probably bought this for that game. I know I did, because this is one of the main reasons I got a PS4. That and Last of Us. And Uncharted. But it's details. There's like extra details from the decrepit books to that door right there to the floorboard and the great sound effects with it. It just feels like you're actually in that era, or what they were trying to go for. You're in that era. It's dripping with atmosphere even when you go to the hub, to basically the snake area, to basically the DLC area. Everything just works. It just, environment-wise, it works. So From Software, I want to say this is the best game. I really do. I really want to give this a 10 out of 10. But I'm going to give it to Dark Souls. But I will go into that in Dark Souls 3. I think we should just focus on Bloodborne. And the last thing I really love about this game that I highly recommend, DLC. The DLC by itself is a 10 out of 10. That is a 10 out of 10, as I said in my previous videos. The DLC is a 10 out of 10 because it expands the beautiful Bloodborne, well, narrative. It expands it in the best way possible. I wish DLCs in the future do what Bloodborne the Old Hunters did. Not only is it challenging and it will eat your lunch, it is challenging to the core. You will get frustrated, you'll probably pull your teeth out or pull your hair out. I'm not kidding. It is super hard than the actual main campaign, but that's what you love about it. It's not just the narrative that expands it. And if you really look into it, it just adds, it's so cool. It's so cool. And then, along with that, you get some really cool weapons with it, too, that you weren't expecting, but they just add to the lore. Not only did these weapons add to the lore of Bloodborne, they just really give us a good sense of, there was a sense of place back in, well, I guess we traveled back in time. But along with the weapons, everything just works with it. There's no weak links, there's just nothing that's weak. I guess the living failures would be the weakest boss. But they are challenging in their own right. There's some lore into that. Not challenging, but there's some lore in that. And then every other boss, besides the living failures, are fantastic. I have a hard time picking which boss I personally like. But it's going to be a three-way tie between Orphan of Kos, Leia Maria, and Litwick, because, holy crap, they're all extremely hard, and they're excited. They're excited for the spectacle, even though there were small personal moments, they're all fun, and I have them recorded because they're so fun. As much as I like Lawrence, it's just frustrating. But I enjoy that boss battle too, it's just frustrating. So, along with, if it was just a DLC by itself, 10 out of 10, straight up. Hands down, 10 out of 10. Beautiful visuals in the DLC too. It's just in the main game and also in the DLC. But why did I just give it a 9? Why not just give it a 10? As much praise as I'm giving it. It's a challenge. It's the challenge dungeons, as everyone knows. The challenge dungeons, the boss, like the Queen Yardam Queen, or I think it's the Yardam Queen. She is the exception what I like, and also that Watchdog of Legion and some few bosses. The bosses are not crap. There are some throwaway bosses, like the Beast Possessed Soul, I think it's called. Those are like crappy bosses. Those are throwaway, as they could clearly, as I explored those dungeons and did most of them, there are throwaway bosses, but there are some creative bosses. But that's the weakest link, the challenge dungeons. They're all so generic. Unlike this beautiful environment I'm looking at right now, there was no creativity in the challenge dungeons, and it sucks because they're necessary towards the end and in the middle of the game. They're necessary, but they're pointless. It's just tacked on there. It was just like, at least you didn't pay for it, but they suck. They're your one way to level up, your one way to get materials, your one way to get better upgrades or for your weapons and materials, I guess your gun and your weapon. But they're such a slog to go through every time. I counted how many hours of, okay, when is this going to get interesting? When is this going to get interesting? Is this challenge dungeon gonna get interesting soon? I've just been looking at the same dungeon. Okay, you changed the dungeon, you just changed the color palette. You didn't really do anything else. It's the same generic door, same generic enemies, same way they died to me, and you recycle the same bosses, only just for different challenges. There were a few, like the one that levels me up by 450,000 blood echoes per enemy. That is fun. That's one exception where it's creative. But the ones that I had to do to unlock the last weapon, Beast Claw, and some other really lame stuff, that's a major draw, and it makes the hours go really slowly. Unlike the main game in the DLC, where you're excited what happens next, and you want to play with your friends, and you want to fight every boss and discover every item, where you want to do that in the main campaign in the DLC. You don't want to do it for the challenge dungeons. It's just a waste of time. It was tacked on, and From Software knows it. And I'm kind of glad they really got rid of it in Dark Souls 3. It was unnecessary. And they know it. PvP, got no problem with that. It works for the Souls game. But the challenge dungeon, I get they were trying to take a risk, but it just did not work. It just did not make sense. It was a waste of time. And they do a sequel to Bloodborne, which I hope they don't. In terms of my honest opinion, I think it's perfect as it is. Leave it alone. Move on with other projects like Sekiro or Neo, even though that wasn't made by From Software. But I think I prattled on, and I think I discussed this in detail of what I really like about this game. Hope you guys really enjoyed the Bloodborne. I'm probably going to do Dark Souls 3 later on, but yeah, this was fun. Alright. Catch you guys later.